rested a steadying hand on her shoulder. It wasn't that she was against selling books. This was, after all, her chosen profession. It was more that she felt a particular affinity with anything botanical. In particular, botanical art. And she had collected some rather fabulous books on the subject, which she was loath to part with. She guessed that's what you got for growing up in a family-run nursery business. Her whole family was plant-obsessed. The woman placed the tome, a collection of works of Rachel Reich, with due reverence on the desk, and Eleanor thawed slightly. Perhaps she was the right owner for this book after all. "Can you do anything on the price?" she asked. Eleanor made a face like she was thinking about it. "It's a rare reproduction. I think it's priced more than fairly." You did not, in her opinion, haggle where old masters were concerned. The woman eyed her. Andrew, with Matilda snuffling contentedly into his chest, leaned over and asked, "I wonder if this book could be the first in our 10% Christmas discount offer?" In a terribly polite voice, which only Nory knew actually meant, "Make the goddamned sale." The woman's eyes widened briefly, and she raised one eyebrow expectantly at Eleanor, who smiled. "Of course. How silly of me to forget the Christmas discount. That brings us down to £325 exactly." "Wonderful!" exclaimed the woman. She immediately began to rummage around in her handbag, while Andrew whisked the book, which Nory had been stroking wistfully, out of her reach to wrap it. Andrew handed the book, enveloped in thick brown parchment paper and secured with string, to Nory, and she held it out to the woman. The woman took it, but Nory held on. Suddenly, she couldn't seem to make her hands unclench. The woman tugged, and Nory resisted. The woman smiled uncertainly and tugged again. Reluctantly, Nory let go, and the woman hurried out of the shop, apparently fearing Nory might give chase. In fairness, if Amira hadn't ambled in at that moment and flung herself into one of the old Chesterfield armchairs in the reading corner, she might have. Amira was wearing a black floor-length military coat, undone to reveal a tailored black skirt suit nipped in at the waist, and a brilliant white shirt with a ruffle down either side of the buttons. Her knee-high stilettoed black boots squeaked as she crossed her legs elegantly and settled her gaze first on Eleanor and then on Andrew. "Hello, my darlings. Coffee's on the way," she smiled. Where Amira was tall and Marlena Dietrich sleek, Eleanor was 5'5" at a pinch, with decidedly Rubenesque proportions. Eleanor had a heart-shaped face with high cheekbones, emphasised by almost permanently rosy cheeks. If she were an actress, she would surely be typecast as a buxom wench. Her shoulder-length hair, like her eyes, was a mixture of browns, golds and ambers that caught the light. Her friend Jenna had once said that Nory had the colouring of a tortoise-shell cat. Nory had decided there were far worse animals to be likened to. Nory checked her watch. "Shouldn't you be in court defending the defenceless?" she asked. "The case was adjourned until the morning." "Lucky us," said Andrew slyly. "Don't pretend you're not delighted to see me," said Amira. "Now bring my goddaughter over here so that I can coo over her." "Actually, Amira, Matilda is my goddaughter." "Yes, but we're best friends, so she's my goddaughter by proxy." Eleanor couldn't argue with that. The bell jingled, and Hannah, the owner of Delizioso Coffee, came in bearing the cardboard cups steaming in the cold air. "Thank you, Hannah," said Nory, taking the cups. "You didn't need to bring them over. I would have come and got them." "No bother. We're quiet at the moment, the lull before the lunch rush. Lots of people are talking about your window display. It's quite a hit." Andrew beamed. This year's Christmas window design had been his idea. A 3-foot plump and jolly Father Christmas seated in a rocking chair, reading, his half-moon glasses having slipped to the end of his nose. Around him were piles of well-loved books and vintage Christmas titles propped up, their covers facing outwards. This morning, they had sold a particularly crusty-looking copy of The Little Match Girl from the display. "Let's hope it brings in the customers," said Nory. "If she can bear to actually part with the books," replied Andrew. He was kneeling at Amira's feet,